All right, welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris Sashinelli, and I get to build, buy, and sell simple, profitable businesses every single day. And today, we are talking about a simple ad budget hack that practically any bootstrapper can use in order to fund your marketing or your paid marketing campaigns, right? So, this is a problem that we see all the time. It's a challenge that is oftentimes voiced, especially in our bootstrapper capital community as we're working with other bootstrappers and towards building, buying, and selling simple profitable businesses. It's, hey, I don't have any money, right? Like I'm looking to grow my business, and where I'm currently at, I don't have the capital, because the nature of the bootstrapping game is we're doing this without raising capital, right? So we're doing it lean, we're building simple profitable businesses. Oftentimes that means resource strapped, perhaps, and many times that means you don't have necessarily the budget or the big budgets to be able to throw money at things like our ad campaigns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Especially, this is a problem when you're first starting out, right? So, like, once you've gotten a little bit of traction, maybe you're past your first 100 customers, or you've understood what your business unit economics and you're leading towards profitability, you can take some of that profit and reinvest into additional channels like paid acquisition, which is definitely the approach that we promote, right? So if you watch our videos or you're part of our community, you know that that's what we try to do. We try to do simple things, simple strategies that don't scale until you get to that point of profitability and you can no longer afford to not do things that scale, right? Like paid ads. However, sometimes we just want to be able to get a budget, and the reality is we shouldn't have limitations on ourselves, especially as entrepreneurs or investopreneurs, right? Like our whole game, the name of the game is problem solving, right? That's literally what we do for a living. When you're building a business, you're literally solving somebody else's problem that they're willing to pay you for in exchange for that solution, right? All aspects of building a business is problem solving, and that's what we're good about. So if you're in a situation where you do want to, run a paid ad campaign, but you don't necessarily have the budget, the good news is there's another way, right? There's a way to get that budget, and it's pretty simple. It's a pretty tactical strategy. We've used it in the past, and it definitely works, right? So this is something that actually works that you can implement like pretty much tomorrow inside of your business, especially if your goal is to be able to get to like a 5 or 10K ad budget and start running paid ads, right? Without having to take money out of your pocket. So the goal here is to take skills, abilities, and traits, right? Things that you're already naturally good at, productize them into a service, right? Sometimes we think of ourselves, when we're bootstrapping a business or we're, entrepreneurs or investpreneurs on our journey, sometimes we lose sight of the fact that, we have these skills, abilities, and traits that are really attractive and valuable to other folks, right? We've curated these things over a number of years, sometimes a couple of years, sometimes 5 years, sometimes 10 years, sometimes 20 plus years, which means that we're in a position where we're definitely 1% better than somebody else who has that problem, right? And if we can find ourselves in a situation where we can offer a service to somebody else and we can actually position and sell a service, then we can create value. In exchange for that value, we can get access to the capital that we're looking for, right? And the kicker to this strategy is turning it into a win-win opportunity, right? You want to be in a situation where you're not building a service business, right? I get it. You're not an agency. You're not a consultancy. Like, this isn't the business that you're in. And I don't want that to change. That's why the approach here is super simple. It's very aligned, and it puts it in a situation where there's, a little bit less pressure, right, as it goes towards delivery and things. And it's also mutually aligned. It's mutually beneficial. It's aligned for the win-win-win, which is, again, typically what we promote heavily on this channel. Always be in the selfish-ist state, right? You got selfish to be selfless to be selfish-ist. Always try to get to that win-win-win type of scenario. Make it make sense for everybody inside of the deal, and you're likely to have a good outcome, right? So in this situation, what we want you to do is tell your story. Hey, I'm a bootstrapper. I'm currently building this business, right? tell your story, because your story is worth telling. First and foremost, definitely know that your story is worth telling. Everybody's journey is unique, right? We all can share and learn from each other's shared experiences. So lean in with your story, right? Let folks know what's going on. Hey, I'm kicking off this little micro SaaS that I'm currently building to help salespeople get book better meetings, right? Whatever it is, right? Whatever the scope of whatever you're working on is, tell your story, but lean into the fact that and own the fact that you're bootstrapping it, right? Because I'm bootstrapping this, what I need is more capital, right? I need access to capital. We've been able to figure out who our ideal customer is. We have a campaign that we put together that we believe is going to work pretty well, but we need budget towards it, right? And what I'm looking to do is help you on your journey in exchange for getting access to that budget. I want to earn that budget by creating value for you and your business. I'm really good at this, right? And then position what it is that you can actually offer, again, as kind of like a service package, right? Like an advisory consultancy service package. A great example of this for us would be our Simple Profits business operating system, right? Simple Profits system. We can go and take this exact strategy, go to a growth organization or a middle market organization and say, hey, we're really great at getting to simple, profitable outcomes. We have a very clear structure, right, that we put into place. We have the strategies and the accountabilities to get to those profitable outcomes. We would love to be able to do that and implement that inside of your business. Typically, we would charge anywhere from $25,000 plus a month to do this. We would love to be able to do this with you for $5,000 a month if you're willing to let us help you now, right? And then the kicker to it is I'm going to be taking that budget and putting it towards this campaign, right? Again, I'm a bootstrapper. We're trying to figure out how to get resources, right? You're telling your story. I'm going to put I'm going to put the budget towards this campaign, and I want to split the outcomes of that campaign with you. I want to share and split in the upside of the success, right? So if we run this campaign, which we think is going to work pretty well, we think that for every dollar we put in, we're going to get $10 out. We're going to split. We want to split the upside, the profit of this campaign. We'll show you that we're putting the money here. We'll show you the stats through the campaign and the metrics, and then we'll literally profit share with you at the end of the campaign, right? Best case scenario, you may end up making money in this situation. That $5,000 that you're paying us, compensating us for the services we're providing, that may end up becoming a profitable type of situation for you where you make more money back from this. Worst case scenario, you got a really great deal in terms of the value of the cost to the value of the service that we're providing, right? We're charging $5,000 for something that would otherwise be $25,000. You're getting the value for your business that you would otherwise want to pay for anyway. And you also get this experience of seeing, our campaigns and how that kind of works, right? If that's interesting to you, we would love to be able to figure this out, right? So it's tell your story, position your offer, deliver on a win-win. This is a really outside of the box type of strategy. Now, you can't just go out and obviously this isn't something that's going to resonate with absolutely everybody out there. But if you've done a good job, a decent enough job as an investorpreneur, and you've been building relationships, maybe you're running your podcast strategy that we've talked about in the past, where you get to interview influential individuals that can share awesome insights, right? And you're building relationships with these individuals, and you have some level of rapport. Or if you're doing a newsletter or doing interviews for the blog for your content strategy, right? Or you're just networking well, right? Or if you really have a handful of folks that you kind of admire already in your network, right? That's kind of who this strategy is for. It's for the folks that you have a fairly high degree of confidence. And now I don't want you to limit yourself either, right? Like I'm catching myself as I'm speaking, because it almost sounds like only go after these individuals. That's not the case. If you don't have those relationships, you need to go out and get those relationships, right? You can't live within the constraints of your current situation, especially if you want to shift or change where that situation is going to be. especially in the future. So don't limit yourself. I'm just saying low-hanging fruit, start there if you have them. If you don't, go out and get them and target folks that you feel would resonate and connect with the story. This is very much so designed to be kind of like an emotional, connected type of sale, right? These are individuals that may or may not be in the market for the service that you're going to provide, but because of your story, right, they can connect to the fact that you're this bootstrapping entrepreneur who's just trying to figure it out in order to get resources to be able to grow this thing, right? You're not asking for a handout and you have a very clear objective of what you're trying to do. I need this much money to be able to go into this campaign because this is what I believe is going to be the outcome of it. And you're willing to share in the upside, which is the kicker that makes this so unique that more often than not, if you get this in front of the right types of folks, they're going to say, yes, okay, let's do this, right? Some folks, depending upon who you're targeting and where they are currently, right, their stage in life and their journey or whatever the case may be, they may just be like, no, you don't even have to do this service. Here's the $5,000. Let me watch you put it into the campaign, and then we'll split in the outcomes or whatever the case is. And they may just be interested enough in that, right? But again, you're not going to go in with the ask. You're going to go in with the offer. You want to always give more than you get, right? And that's what this is positioned to do. It's positioned so that you're coming out of the gate giving a tremendous amount of value, right? You're earning the opportunity, you're earning the seat at the table in order to be in the relationship, to then get access to the resources that you need to then be able to produce on an outcome. Again, this is not a business model. This is not something that you can do at scale. This is literally something that pretty much any bootstrapping entrepreneur, investor can go ahead and just like out of the box tomorrow, go out and do and be able to earn $5, $10, $15, $20, $25,000 to be able to run towards paid ads, right? And if you, again, are in that resource constraint situation where you don't necessarily have the pocketbook, right, the treasury to go out and invest in campaigns, especially if you don't know if they're going to produce yet and the risk ratio is pretty high, it's way better to go out and earn that money and be able to get access to it as opposed to say, I don't have it, right? And create an excuse for yourself. So that's, I think, the underlining message here is that there's always a way, right? There's always a deal to be done, as we oftentimes say on this channel. You sometimes just need to think outside the box. When you're thinking outside of the box, it's what can I give, right? What can I do that can create value for others? Because you always get more by giving than by taking. And then in creating the opportunity and earning the opportunity, how can I make it as much of a win-win as possible, right? And that's really what kind of anchors the situation where the probability of you getting into a relationship pretty quickly, like this is, again, something you could go out and do tomorrow. And the goal, the way in which this is designed, again, it's not a business. This is not a business model. This is something that you can turnkey go in a very short period of time, right? Like a very short incremental period of time, a week, 2 weeks, whatever the case may be. It's just a matter of how many folks you can talk to. If you position this, the probability of converting into the conversation is high, right? And then you can get access to the resources that you need in a timely fashion, right? This is a great way to just, again, go take some massive action and get yourself into better position with traction, right? Again, you don't want to be doing this with, this is not a business model. This is not a business system, because you don't want to be doing this with 10, 15, 20 clients. You want to go and pick like 3, 4, maybe 5. Like that's a lot, right? But like 3 or so relationships that you could position this to. Maybe there's somebody who would be a strategic advisor for you in the future, right? So make sure you're aligning it for all the right reasons, which is why I was kind of like hinting at going to your personal network previously, going towards those low-hanging fruit. It's a great opportunity to also demonstrate your value, right? Because you're in a situation where you're able to over-deliver, right? This is like very much so set up to be an under-promise, over-deliver type of situation. It's, hey, I'm being very clear about what I'm trying to do here, like what my objective is. I want to kind of barter these services that I have in order to be able to get access to this, and then sharing the upside of all that. And I'm willing to do all the work here, right? So it's very much so set up to be an under-promise, over-deliver type of situation, which is a great platform to build meaningful relationships and earn folks' respect, right? And a big part of this game that we're in is earning the respect and trust of your peers and also folks that can help you along the way, over an extended period of time. Hopefully this thing works. If it does, if you end up using it, please put the comments in below. Otherwise, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this so that the YouTube algorithms, get to work and more folks get access to the strategy, because it's really, again, something super simple. Anybody can put to work. I haven't really heard too many folks talk about this. In fact, I haven't heard anybody talk about something like this on YouTube, but I have inside of the startup ecosystem, especially indie hacking ecosystem over the years. It works. Try it out for yourself. If it does, share it.